So, I had one of my wife's delicious breakfast cookies. I've got my second pot of coffee. Usually I just have one pot of coffee, but I make it in a French press, and today my children are at VBS, Vacation Bible School, so I have the opportunity to cast a game of Go. And considering this won't probably be happening too often during the summer, because I have 4 children, they're all boys, and the oldest one is 6, and they're all home from school, the 2 that were in school. I'll have 3 in school next fall. And they happen to be pretty loud. They don't give me the opportunity to cast things very often. So we're going to get out of this, and we are going to play a game. First off, we can look and see. Oh, there we go. I actually know this guy, not personally, but I've played him many times. He's very aggressive, and so this will give us a good opportunity, because lately I've wanted to play a more calm game. And actually, this is interesting here. We could approach. We're going to play calm. Let's see what he wants. I don't like playing mini Chinese, micro Chinese. Whoa, this is really interesting. See, he plays very fast. So we're going to play out this Joseki quickly. And he's not going to give me any time to talk to anybody. And we're just going to approach over here. We're going to see what he wants. See, now he wants to pincer me. So first he said, I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to give you this side. And I said, that's fine. Okay, you go ahead. And now he's saying, you can't have this side. So we're going to do some stuff here. He's got a lot of options now. He can honey on the inside. That's going to lead to me getting a wall over here, and I'll get this extension. This will be reduced, but it won't be in any danger, so I won't mind, and I'll probably end up approaching this from over here later in the game. If he plays here, and embarks on a fight, which it looks like he's going to do, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. There's a couple of things. I could pincer here, because I don't want him to get a base. I really don't. And I still have this move over here to build influence if he decides to run this stone out. I could play this immediately and then lean on this stone. Then I don't mind if he gets a base, if I can build a wall here. Well, if he's already cut this off, build a wall, play over here. This leaves me in a slightly awkward position, but I think it also leaves him in a really awkward position. Because what is he going to do to take away my base? Like, I could just kick this to make it heavy and then pincer it. Or I could just pincer. If I pincer and he jumps out, I really don't see that as being very good for him. I think I'm going to pincer, because these stones aren't in all that much danger. Yeah, see, he's going to jump out. He's like, no, you can't have this little area right here. This, we're going to fight over this. We're going to fight until one of us is dead. And we're going to see how we can answer that calmly. So one way we can do that, I think, is by playing here. Or we can just jump out. If we jump out, he can peep and then jump again. But I don't know that I mind that, because then I can descend here and he can cut this stone off, but his group is really small and he's just damaged his whole side. Or I can lean on this directly, because he can't cut that stone, but he can come underneath. And I don't know if I like that very much. Or I could just jump out, because I can still kick and I can still cap. And I get the opportunity to play here. And again, if he peeps and I connect, yeah, he can cut that stone off, but I don't mind that at all. So I think what I'm going to do is just jump out. He can come after my base here, but I can kick here if he doesn't do that. And if he does do that, I can just play here. So now he's played this. I could just jump, I could kick, or I could cap. And honestly, I think I like the cap the best. Because he doesn't have, I mean, he can cut here, but if I can kick him after he cuts, that's not bad. If he responds to my cap, like going here, then I can lean on this and keep it low. Alright, let's see what you want. What do you want? You're going to attach. Okay. He's trying to get strength so he can go back and cut through this. But I really feel like this is a little bit slow, because now I'm threatening to come underneath or cut through him, and now I'm leaning on him. What exactly are you making here? Oh, now you're going to cut me? This, I feel like, is a definite overplay. But how do we make it look like it is? What that means is, how do we show him that he should not have done that? The first thing I'm looking at is seeing if I can work out this cut, because he's got this peep here, and then he can wedge, and then he can cut. So is there anything we can do that's Sente that will take care of that? We could turn here. That would take care of that cut. Is it Sente? That's a big question. I'm going to go ahead and fix my shape first. I'm going to make sure all of these guys are out, because at the end of the day, I just want to make sure I'm connected. And then what I'm looking at a couple of things. If he turns here, I might Atari here. And this is an interesting idea, because when he goes here, okay, so now he's saying that's captured. And now I'm saying, okay, well, you just made me ridiculously strong in this area. And now you're saying that you're going to get away scot-free. Is that the truth? And I don't think it is. He's in a really bad spot. He's got a cut here. And honestly, considering his style, he might decide to use it immediately. But as these stones get stronger, I feel less and less bad about just Atariing this out and figuring out what to do about it later. Because now we're going to have another fight in this area, but he's already got a weak group. So what is he trying to do? So I think here, what I'm going to do, if I push him one more time, he's going to jump. So I'm going to take this immediately. Now as he turns, I'm going to play this because it's Sente. And then I'm just going to continue to lean on him. And what he's saying here is, you've got less liberties than me. First of all, I don't know if that's the case. Second of all, I've got this move, which is really nice. Third of all, he could be right. But I'm just going to be solid here and connect. Because he's still got to Hane and protect his shape, and then I can take this stone. So he's saying, I'm going to completely surround you. You're dead. And I think I'm going to say, maybe. Maybe I am. But are you alive? So one of the keys here is that I'm getting an eye. Let's see, if I play that and that, that's an eye. Okay. So in order to kill my eye, he's got to Hane here. Which, considering he's an aggressive player, may actually happen. Yes, it will. It will happen. And I'm going to say, in response to that, but I can get another eye here. So what are you going to do about that? Okay. He's going to kill that eye. And now I'm going to completely seal him in. And somebody's dead. Now, I tried to play calmly. Maybe that didn't end up happening. But this group here can connect up two ways to this. If he descends here, I don't care. If he comes up, I can come under. This is connected on the outside, which means it just comes down to these groups. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish liberties that we share. One, two, three, four. 4 liberties that we share, plus 2 on the outside, plus all of these, and he's got that. I can connect up here or here. I already kind of read this out, but I wasn't entirely sure. I'm going to take my first sip of coffee and hope I'm not dead. It's the hope you're not dead sip. I mean, maybe he can even make a Seki here. Maybe he can. We'll see. This is now Sente, and he can get an eye. Now he has to respond. He has to play that. I've got a nice co-threat here. But let's see how this plays out. I think first of all I need to take this, because that increases the number of shared liberties we have. Second of all, I need to take this, because I can connect up. Third of all, I need to take this, because I can just absolutely live, and it also makes me have a big eye. Now I think third of all, I'll just say, can I cut through you? So he doesn't get any extra liberties. Fourth, this. I think all of these are important. I'm trying to find a place where I can Tanuki, because if I can Tanuki, I can play here. If I can play here, I don't know. If I can kill this group with another move, then I can play here, and then it's Sente. Otherwise, you know, it's whatever. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3 shared liberties. I can't play here. So he's given himself some extra stuff. Okay. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 shared liberties. This is not a liberty. There's one here, obviously. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Hold on. 1. That doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are in a Seki, and I have Sente. So the question is, who got more? And honestly, it might have been black. But this is still anyone's game. I'm going to go ahead and play here. Because I don't think that this is Sente. I think if I Hane, he just pulls back and I don't have any move to kill. This isn't Sente for him. If it was, he would definitely be alive. But either way, I don't think this is Sente, so I don't think it's big enough yet. So I'm going to play here. He's going to pincer. I don't mind that. I was already intending to change directions. Okay. Now he's trying to seal me in, but honestly, I don't care about this stone anymore. He's like, I want to take this, but I like this. So I'm going to make some stuff over here. And there we go. This stone still has a lot of Aji, so I'm going to pincer him and make him kill that off. And that will not be good for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll just take that forcing move. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a Seki. So you want to give me Sente? I'll take it. You going to kill that stone off? One, two, three. You're not going to kill that stone off. So first thing I'm going to do is see what I can get over here. Or actually, this might be too small. Since I have this forcing move already, I don't mind if he like makes something over in this little area. So I'm just going to start developing this side because it's the biggest. And right now, I feel like white has a slight edge. Because now I can just sacrifice this stone off. Build something here. Okay, this is important. What do I want to do now? I want to disconnect him. And that is the way to do it. We're just going to let him have that stone. Because I can't cut here. If he Ataris and I do this, he's got another cut here, and I'm just sliced to bits. Actually, I think this is the way to do it. And I've got really good shape. He's got to move here to make eyes. And I've got a wall here. So I'd like to drive him towards that. And I'm going to do that by taking away his eyes. Oh, he's like, go ahead, buddy. I'm just going to come into your corner. I'm like, well, I can still make points over here. This is a good base for this group. I can play here and I'm alive. Your group has no eyes. Let's just make sure this has nothing. I don't want him getting any weird Hane here. And then come out here. I cannot sacrifice those stones. I was about to say, I can just sacrifice these off if I need to. No, that's not the case. Let's protect the corner. He's like, you cannot have it. I think I have to answer here. Or he gets an eye in Sente. Let's do that. This feels a little bit submissive, but I can come back and poke through here and turn here, and he won't have any eyes here. So he has to get an eye in Gote here if he wants it. And now he's still got an eye in Gote. Let's see, if he plays here, I can play there. If he plays here, I can play there. Then he can cut and play some weird stuff. So let's push here first. Play this. Should I play that? Definitely. He can't connect here, or I can Hane here and he can't cut me. He can connect here if he wants to, but I'm totally fine if he does that. I'm fine with him doing that. This group can still come back and live. If he connects, he'll have this clamp here, and then this group can't live, but it can still run out, and there's thickness here, so he's made me really strong, which he wanted to do that. He wanted to make me strong. Now he has no eye in this area, and he still can't cut because I can Hane here, and it's a snapback. So he can take this stone, but it doesn't give him eye shape, which is the important thing. I don't want him to have eye shape. And he says I'm dead. So I'm going to say, what am I going to say? I could play here. It feels a little bit submissive. Could jump out here. Could Hane here. I don't feel like those are big until I play here. I could say everybody lives. If I do this, everybody lives. The question is who gets Sente. I could also go here and cut, which I don't think is all that bad here. And I think I'm going to do it. Because as this group decides it wants to start fighting this way, okay. Well, if you're going to give me fourth line territory, I suppose I'm going to take fourth line territory. This group is still in a little bit of trouble here, so I've got to answer it. And let's take a moment to count territory while he spends 3 seconds thinking about complicated decisions. Yeah, that's immediate, right? If I play here, I still can't cut. So I'm going to play here. He's going to force. And now yep, okay. So now he's like, you're totally dead here. And I think I'm gonna nix that by living, because I've got a nice little thing here. I can make a ko here. Yeah, that's good. That's a really good move. But I can play here now. So counting territory. Okay, so now we got a ko. And this ko's pretty big, but if I win the ko, I get a follow up here, and then this group is weak. So the question is, do I want a ko? And the answer, I think, is I have no idea. I think I have to. I mean, you never have to do anything. You can always resign. But then the question is, do I play here or do I just fight the ko? Well, I mainly have to figure out what my threat's going to be if I'm going to fight this ko. And I think my threat's going to be here. And I'm almost entirely certain. Oh, wow. By almost entirely certain, I mean I totally didn't think that he was going to ignore that. Now, the question is, if he plays here or here, do I have enough liberties? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the throw in, plus 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm totally fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the throw in. And actually, he can play that throw in anytime. So 1, throw in, that doesn't count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means this is not a threat. This is a threat. This is a pretty good threat. Now the question is, since he has like 1,000 co-threats here, can I answer this? And really, I feel like if I don't answer it, I'm going to lose the game. So I'm going to answer it. And I'm going to say, can I get 1,000 co-threats? The reason why I'm playing this move may not seem obvious, but if he plays here, then I can play here. Well, first of all, I'll get 1, 2. This won't be a co-threat. I don't know. Maybe this was a bad move. But now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. You know what? I kind of like this, because I'm going to do this. And now this is a co-threat, because it separates. So even if these stones... what are we going to do here? We're going to play this. Yeah, this is an indirect co-threat. Because what's going to end up happening here, this is like indirect local co-threat. Because what's going to happen here is I'm going to come from here now, and I'm going to separate these groups. And he really didn't care. That's his thing. He's like, I don't care. Okay. Now I have to wonder, can this die? Because if it can, it's not a Seki. So I'm going to get this stone in, because I don't think he realizes what I'm trying to do yet, and then I'm going to get this stone in. And now he's like, oh, that was a co-threat. And I cross my arms like the Meijin in Hikaru no Go, and I go, wow, I still don't think he realizes that he is dead. He's got the deadness. Now, are you gonna I think just this does it. Because remember we had a Seki there? You remember that? Peep, he can get an eye here or an eye here, but he can't get both. This is Sente. Absolute Sente. I think he just lost track of part of the board and didn't realize that I would be giving up things instead of fighting for everything. One thing that confuses my opponents often is that I will actually give things up. And it doesn't always work out, obviously. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and he can't approach. So I don't care. You're dead. And if he peeps here, I'm going to play here. That I am definitely going to answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So let's say he plays here, I play here. He plays here, I play here, he plays there, and that's no good. So I have to play here. And now he can play here, and I play here, or he can play here, and I play here. Or if he attaches, I think I cut. If he attaches here, I play here. He plays here, I play here. Okay, let's see about this. Does this move work? If he cuts, I can play here. Then if he cuts, I can play here. Okay, let's do that. If he peeps here, yeah, see, this was the move I was like, what do I do here? But I think this move works because I remove one eye first, and then if he extends, I connect, and I'm fine. See, but if he does that, I just give him the other eye. You can have the eye. If he plays here, then I just connect back here. And he's dead there. Now, the question is, was this really a co-threat? I don't think I had time to read, and really make sure it was a co-threat. But my idea was, okay, this I will respond to by pulling back. Or do I have to do that? Let's see. Pulling back, playing a cut. I think he can cut less this way than the other way. Could be wrong. Usually I am. But that's why you watch this. Like, either you learn something because I messed up and got something right, or you're entertained because I played normally. And so here I got something right. Conceptually, my idea was this is a local co-threat. And a local co-threat is when the co-threat affects the local situation. So I thought to myself, this is a local co-threat because in attacking these stones, I'm going to bring these back to life. Because I'm going to get something here and I'm going to do this. And then I'll be able to connect up. And that was fine for me. Let's just make sure nothing crazy. Oh, we might have crazy here. But no. Reading. Maybe we do have something crazy. Who knows? Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Because this is going to end up making a massive ko. He can't play here, I just take. So he has to play here, which means I Atari here. Okay, never mind. That's it. So I'll show you that variation at the end of the game, which is probably now. Because he got this, but now this is all dead. Because we're in Seki here, and I can kill this. And all of this came from trying to play calmly. Maybe I don't understand the definition of the word calm. Maybe I'm just not a calm person. I tend to maybe not be. I don't know. I'm very passionate about a lot of things. So when I play calm, maybe that's the somebody else's definition might be rabidly aggressive. But I don't feel like I fought too much. I feel like anything I said, hey, can I have this? He said no. And when your opponent always says no, somewhere you have to fight them. Maybe that's not always the case, because Lee Chang-ho, he did that for a long time. His opponent would say, no, I want this. And he would say, sure, buddy. In Korean. I don't know what the exact translation of that would be in Korean, but I'm sure it would involve honorifics of some kind. So we're going to just play simply. Nothing complicated. Now that he's dead, all we have to do is make him dead. And when he's dead, we don't have to do a lot to make him dead because he's already dead. If he wasn't dead, then we wouldn't be able to kill him. Do you see where I'm going with this? This is why you watch my lectures. So I think Well, first of all, I think this is Sente. And he may disagree. He may disagree. And if he disagrees, I'm not going to fight it because it's Jose. There's nothing left to fight about. It's only taking the biggest stuff. We've got some interesting things if I play here, but I don't think it works because I've got this Atari, and if he connects, then I can Atari here and descend here, but then he could just play here. And that works for him. So I don't have to worry about it. So he's dead here. The next thing I want is this, because it's ridiculously huge for him. And the next thing I want, maybe this, and clamp here to make sure I have shape here. Because if I have shape here and I'm alive, he's like, you're not alive, nor will you ever be. Now, here's the crazy part. There's a couple of things I read here. I'm going to push and push. Oh, okay. So he just like made sure I wasn't alive here, and then he made me alive. But he does get some profit this way. So let's do this. And then I'm going to take this in Sente, just to make sure if he plays this, it's not a double Atari. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I just want this little area here. So now that he's attached here, I believe I can play here. I can, but all he's going to do is take the stone and connect, or not take the stone, but Atari it and connect in. Which I don't think is terrible, because I get this little bit of points here. So he's going to be able to take these. These are not actually points. They look like points, but they're fake points. They're foints. They're a lot like all those shoes and sunglasses that people were selling a long time ago. They probably sell them still. You know, we used to call them Folkleys, because they were fake Oakleys. Now here he's trying to get a little bit more. And I think what I'm going to say is, I just want this stone. Because if I play here, well, I'll tell you what. Oh, now he can extend and then capture this. Okay. But when he extends here, I'm going to connect here. And we're both going to ruin each other's areas. That's just going to be how it goes. There's another move here that I want. I want this move here. That's all the Jose. But I'm thinking that I'm like a bajillion points ahead, because he has this little bit, he has this huge area, but you know, this is equal to this, let's say, and this area right here is not equal to this. There's the, you know, the little two parallel horizontal lines with the diagonal slash across it, not equal. This little area, oh, there he goes. Oh, he always says hi, but he never says thanks. Now this was a very, very fighty game. I don't know if this was, I mean, okay, so I tried to play calm. The pincer here is actually normal. It's not a it's like, oh, you tried to play calm and then you pincered on the 5th move or 6th move. What are you talking about? It's your 3rd move and you're already being aggressive. All that is doing is saying, do you want to enclose here? And the reason why black usually encloses here, he usually doesn't fight this. So it's not me who's being aggressive here, it's actually him. Because now I'm just going to back off. And what he said was this was low, and I say, okay, so since I already have a stone here, I don't really want to develop this area because you just said this is the low side, so I'm going to take the high side now. And we continue on with the game. He can take his enclosure here, he can approach, he can do all kinds of stuff. And I could do all kinds of stuff. But what he says here is, I'm going to take your corner, and then once you've built a wall here, I'm going to start a fight. And he really, really wants to start a fight because, honestly, maybe I should be playing here. I don't like playing low. But maybe, like, now he has no real good options because if he decides he wants to do this, this pincer just looks good. I'm starting to build up a wall here, especially like in a minute I can play this. But even if he decides to come up immediately, I'm still building a nice area. I'm building a nice little boxy area. And if he decides to come out, which he can, it'll just be a fight. But when he decides to come out, I have these extra forcing moves to get on top of him again. So anyway, you can see, I mean, he's like, I'm going to take this area. So maybe here I might have had a little bit of a, you know, I could do this or I could do this. Because once he says, I'm going to take this, then this pincer looks really good against this stone. And if he decides he wants to come out, that's just kind of like if he wants to be rabidly aggressive and separate this and do all kinds of crazy stuff, there's nothing I can do about that. But he shouldn't get a good result. The thing is, he often does because he fights really, really well. But he fights over such small areas. I mean, look at this area. Now, I decide to fight here. The reason was, and the reason I was scared about this variation is I was like, what if he, you know, somehow gets Sente and gets a 2-space extension? What is this doing? And now this stone is activated. So maybe this was not great, but honestly, he's got 2 groups that aren't alive yet. My group is separating them, so if this group has 0 base, I should be okay. And that's what I decided. So I did this, and he cuts. So this is just a leaning move. This is just like, hey buddy, you know, give me some thickness. And this is the normal way to play. But of course, then this group comes under huge attack. So he doesn't do that. He pushes and cuts. And this is an overplay in my opinion. And what I really wanted to do here was play this. Because now I've got a nice driving Tsuji. But the question is, what do I do about these weird... Well, now I might be able to come back here. Now what if he cuts? See, there's a lot of questions to answer about these cutting points that I have. So what if I just did this? That just doesn't look great. Doesn't look like what I want. What I want is his death, of course, which would mean I'm not playing a calm game. And the thing that I'm so bad at in this game is as soon as something comes in my area, I'm like, that was mine. It's way too early. You have to die now. And what I should be thinking is, this is weak. I'm going to attack it for just a little bit, and then I'm going to Tanuki. I should be thinking, what's the best way to get Sente here without losing anything? Keep myself strong, you know, that kind of stuff. So when he pincers here, maybe I could consider this. And maybe in this case, I could actually drop down. Because now he's got a little bit of a problem. And this can still live, but now I get a lot of thickness. So he's got a lot of Aji back here, and he's got 2 strong areas. I don't know. So let's continue on. Now that I've started being rabidly aggressive, or he has, and here again, I could have done this. And if he jumps, this Hane is really good. Because he cannot cut here. If he does, this is Sente, because he has to come back, and then I can just Hane here, and he's dead. So he cannot do anything but descend here. And then I can connect here. Furthermore, this is Sente 2. So these stones are just like out in the middle of space, and I've completely destroyed this side. I can play this. He could try to peep, which is what he would do immediately. But I don't know. I don't know who's the aggressive one between the two of us. I think it's him. This is not good. Don't do that. I mean, you could do that if you want. You could do whatever you want. So this, I think this was a relatively good move if he doesn't die. And he didn't die, but I really think he should have. And I think maybe this might be the move. Because now he can't get ahead of me. And he keeps getting surrounded. And honestly, he doesn't have to he doesn't have to die here in order for this to be great for me. All he has to do is make me some kind of wall. But the problem is these two stones now reduce any influence I can make from this, so it is kind of a question of does this die or not. And I think a professional would just kill these stones off and that would be game over. So we did this. He attaches. And I felt like if I pushed here, he was going to jump, which is still okay for me, again. Let's see, this can be answered by this. Can it? Yeah, I think it can. And if it can, I'm not entirely super happy. Well, actually, I'm still happy here, I believe. Well, see, he's got this descent later. So I think this was the right move. And he's obviously going to turn, and I get this in Sente, which is, it's already profit for my attack, which is good. But I think here I connect or play a shape move of some kind. So just connecting and what? You know, is he going to run this across the board? I'm going to wreck this area now. This is probably the correct direction. I think I Haned and he cut. So I should have fixed my cutting point before continuing aggression. So he's not going to be able to make anything in this area while my stones are, while his stones, this group is fighting for life, which means I can make maybe an extension here or this, or I have no idea. This whole game is really going to come down to, am I going to be able to make profit from this? Because he's already got nice influence here, facing this side, and he's got a little bit of territory here and here. So what can I make from this? I've already made a few points here, but he can come back and wreck this if he gets strong enough. So somewhere in there I misplayed, but I mean, usually when I talk to my 4 and 5 Dawn friends, they're like, why didn't you do this? And I'm like, oh, that is so simple. And then I feel stronger for a while. I feel much stronger. So he connects there, and I decide to say, you know, can I live? Can I live here, please? And honestly, here I think I should have just enclosed him, because what's he gonna do? He could not ever do this, because I can just do that. Or if he's like, I can make a ko here, I'm like, which ko do you want to lose? So peep, and this is actually Sente for him, but I don't think it reduces my liberties, because the bamboo joint already has a problem with liberties. So he wedges, which is a good move. Maybe I should get this in first. And then maybe I should do this. What if I did that? It's got some more stuff over here, but these stones are actually, even though they're short on liberties, they can run somewhere and do some things. So I've got an eye and he does not at this point, which means all these liberties are mine, which means if this group does not die, which it just got out, he can't do that. He can do this. But he's got all kinds of problems, and these liberties that we share are all mine, so I think this dies here. So, maybe I didn't play terribly. But you notice, I was like, here I was like, can I live? And he's like, no. I'm like, can I live? And he's like, no. And I said, can I live? I just want to live and let you run across the board and have your happy dance. And I'm like, can we do that? And he's like, no. So at the end of the day, I feel like I was trying to be reasonable with this whole can I live thing, and he was not being reasonable. So this went on to a thing. And this is way too much Aji. So I have to connect. He plays there. And actually here I should have done this and this. He's dead now. Because if this comes here, this is alive. And he's got all of 4 liberties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he has to go here, then I do this, and this is my liberty. It's like My Little Pony is my liberty. Should I just do this or this? So many decisions. Honestly, I can just do this first, or I can do this. Yeah, I like that better. I think. Maybe that's worse. So this, and okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 liberties. Does he have 9 liberties? No. I'm sure a lot of you better readers than me were like, hey, why didn't you do that in the middle of the video? And you may have said that in a less calm voice than I just did. But now we have a Sente Seki. And the thing is, black is ahead here. Something happened. I messed up. I think I should have killed him, and I didn't. And now I'm in a little bit of trouble, because this is influence but not territory. This is territory, and this is influence, and this is territory. So who's ahead? It's pretty easy to see. And he's more than Comey ahead. So he's probably 15, 20 points ahead on the board. And Comey is like 7.5. So he's about 13 points ahead right now. I'm just doing a loose count. But fighting is fighting, and that's why we have go. And I'm going to fight to come back. Okay, and he just gave me Sente again. Thank you. That's all I have to say about that. I could have played here, but I don't think that this is unreasonable. I think this is a calm move. And here, you see, I just played calmly. That's all I did. I didn't make any crazy fights. I feel like this is a calm move because, I mean, he does have thickness here. But this stone has a lot of Aji, and I'm like, do you want to take this stone? And if you do, I'm just going to take this, and I'll be fine. You're going to get to reduce. In fact, you're going to get to reduce a lot. This move is pretty massive for him. Oh, you know what? This might be a better way of answering that. Because check this out. Boom. And I don't care about this because these 2 stones are dead. Yeah. Okay, so if he turns, I actually do have a double Hane here. Now what if he decides to clamp? That's a different story entirely. Then I could just do this. Yeah. The main thing is making thickness facing this direction. And whatever I have to give up to do that is fine, as long as these stones stay alive. And since these are in Atari and, you know, whatever happens here doesn't matter, we're good to go. So that's why he never played there. Okay, so then he approaches here. And my idea here is, you know, I've already got a stone here. It's got Aji here, so this is actually a pretty strong stone. So I'm going to treat it that way. And maybe that was, you know, and I've got, if he runs this direction, he's running towards my thickness. I don't know, maybe that was a mistake. So he gets that. And then this might have been a mistake. Like, I could try to cut him off from the center. And if he decides he wants to live, or even this move, because if he comes this way, I don't know, maybe this ends up being a problem because I'm starting to be in his area instead of him being in mine. Or what about this? He does this, and I just come back. I've got options with this group. Maybe I hit his shape point first. And play here. And what is he doing with this group? I've got this connected to this pretty much. He can't cut it off easily anyway. I'm gonna get like a bajillion forcing moves if he tries to cut it off. Excuse me. I don't know. A lot of my moves, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. When it comes to fighting like this, I don't know. I don't know, because I like games where, like, you know, people are like, okay, you can have this, and I'll take this, and, you know, there's some fighting over key points of the board. But when your opponent starts to fight over you know, a small space of the board early in the game, everything becomes like, who wins the fight? That's it. Now usually if the fight is a tie, you come out ahead, and they have to win the fight to get ahead, or even to stay even. But if they win the fight, they probably get ahead. So they're banking on their fighting skills, and that's it. And at that point it becomes all a fight. You know, who fights better? And in this game, I feel like he fought better, and I got lucky. Like, this was good. I think that this was just bad direction. Like, this whole thing, like, I got to over-concentrate him and make a base in his thickness. Why would he choose that? Yeah, let's go back to that real quick. So, why didn't he just do this? Now I could do this. He can do that, and he can start to come in my area, and he can reduce it later. He's got stuff, and he's got solid points here. The corner's invadable. This is not. This is now strong, which means I won't get to kill it later. Which, you know, I'll admit that was nice. You know, that he let me do that. So let's see. He does not let me cut. Instead, he gives me fourth line, which is fine. I'll take that. And we start a ko. A ko. Okay, now here's how the ko threat, because this, you know, this is all standard, and this I don't know if it's a good move or not. I think it is, but only because it now gives me this ko threat and this ko threat, and that's pretty nice, because I'm wondering if every move from now on, like, is this a co-threat? So I think it is. If I ignore, he plays here, here, here. He's got 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. No, it's not a co-threat. Okay, so since this is still not a co-threat, then this co-threat was totally fine. Especially since I get this and this. This co-threat is really nice. So that's a co-threat. And the reason it's a co-threat, I was thinking, what if he wrecks my territory? I've kind of got this, and I'll be able to get this. But the real thing is, what about these stones? I actually don't think he can do this right now. But, and these are connected up through here. So I've got this territory. I've got an extra move here now. I mean, this is a really big move, and it's Sente. If we count territory, and let's say he decides to keep this dead now, because this is pretty big. If I get this, I can start attacking and then come in here, and then I get this move. White might be a little bit ahead. Maybe. Maybe. So I could have taken the co there, but I decided that since I had this for a co-threat and this for a co-threat, I wanted to see what other co-threats he might have. So he goes there. This is a co-threat. Everybody knows that. Like, maybe a 20Q might say, that's not a co-threat. Or actually, One Don Bob might say that. I can give up those 2 stones, forgetting for a second that I'm in Seki and he just lived. Which has happened in more games than I would like to count. So this creates a lot of co-threats now. He has this, and I have to play here, and then he does this, and I have to play here, and he does this, and I have to play here. But the more the co-threats go, the more I end up getting co-threats against this group. So I wasn't too concerned about the number of threats here. Usually when they get a co-factory, you say, I'm just going to take the co. But in this case, his co-factory is actually not just a co-factory, it's a co-threat factory for me, because he's creating more threats for me. So now, like, once he, takes the co back, I've got, let's say, this for a co-threat. I don't know if that's a co-threat. This first, okay? And maybe he does this. And that. I don't know. So this is arguably maybe not a co-threat. But if he answers, right, let's say he does this, and then I do this, and he plays his co-threat, and I respond, and he comes back, now I can say, that's a co-threat. And as I'm getting these co-threats, I'm making this group stronger. So I'm totally fine with fighting that type of battle. I didn't read it out. So this was not a co-threat, as he says. And I say, I'm coming here. And this should have given him pause, like for a second. He should have said, what? What? Why didn't you do this? Of course I'm going to honor you, but, why didn't you try to get out? What's going on here? And it's because I saw something more important. And now I don't know. I guess he assumed that this was like, okay, now I'm going to try to get out. And now I'm still going to try to get out. And I'm assuming he would have just like cut here or something like that. Maybe that's what it was. And now I'm like this. And he's like, you're definitely not getting out now? I don't know. But now he's totally dead. And I don't think there's any way he can live. Professionals might think differently. Okay, so let's see here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So actually, when he did this earlier, it would have been Sente. Why did I think it wasn't? After this move here, I thought it was not Sente. Like if he did this, I thought I could just ignore. Maybe I didn't count this move? I don't know. But it's definitely Sente if he does this. Now what I thought was, if I do this, then maybe this is Sente. But I don't think it is. Oh, it is. Oh, actually, this is my Sente at that point. Because he has to do what? Throw in here. Now he plays here and I play here, and he does this and I play here and he plays here. And I play here and he takes the ko. Okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. So this was a bad ko threat because it gave him like 80 ko threats, but I don't think he saw it. He never used it. And he should have definitely not taken this ko looking at this. Even if he doesn't think this gives him a lot, he's like, I've got 50 ko threats now because you just gave me 50 ko threats. He should have really looked at this and responding in some way, or leaving this ko, or like making the ko bigger, you know, when this ko was being fought after I played this move. Anyway, I really feel like I got more lucky than played extremely well in this game. And I don't know if I played as calm as I thought I was going to. Now this was interesting, okay? Here is the sequence. Not this, because I just do this. I don't know why he thought this was a read. But this. Huh. It gets close to like becoming another ko. First off, there's this. And he can't cut. For a couple of reasons. This being the principal one. So he has to extend. Then I play here. Then what? He connects here. No, I think he has to connect here. And then this. This is getting a little bit. This is Atari. And we're in another Seki. Wow. Is that how it goes? Is that how it goes? This was the line I was reading, which I, couldn't read entirely. Oh, if he plays here, then I'm in big trouble. So at the end of this, what if I do this? He cuts. Then he plays that. No, he can't do that. Has to play this. Sente Seki! So then that was not a ko threat. So hold on a second. Let's go back. This should be dead in my opinion. But that's just an opinion. So he does that. And I have to answer. At this point I can actually read it. this. Can't allow that. I have to do this. And this is what I was reading here. He can just do this. And I'm in pretty serious trouble here. I've got 3 liberties and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. No, I've only got 2 liberties and he's got 4. So that I could not allow. So what is it? How can I keep him in? What if I just do this? Now what? Same deal? No, it's not the same deal, because now I can just connect here. So what did I do here that allowed him something different? I played here, he cuts. Now he gets this move. That move is very important because of the Atari. So if I just played calmly here and just kept him in and kept my shape, he would be dead. This is a little bit hairy scary. Play this. That doesn't work. This is forcing. I can't even do this because he'll just do that. And this Atari's bad. So I have to play this. Then he can do this. And it doesn't work. So the outside, I was thinking he could get 2 eyes. And that's the thing, my life and death reading is terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I decided I was gonna, get funky. I could also try this. But for whatever reason I felt like this didn't work. Probably because of the reason that it doesn't. Yeah, probably because of that reason. Because it doesn't. Oh, and then I could just do this. There's like 100 things I could have done here, and I allowed him to almost kill me when I had him killed when he gave me like 17 extra moves. That's a lot of moves. We're only on like 198. So now I just have to decide that I want to give this up, and that's still fine, because he's got this and this, which is really big, but I've got that guy. But instead, now another question I had is, what if I do this? He does the same thing, and now I get an Atari, but he connects. And this needs to be saved, and this needs to be saved. And now I'm in even more trouble. And I think I just have to fight this Ko. Which is what I was trying to avoid with every other variation. Even when we're here, I could have fought this Ko. I could have just done this, and he does this. But I didn't think that I had enough. If he gets this and then this becomes Ko, I mean, it's Ko for like all of this, and it's a picnic for white. But he gets a little bit extra if he wins, and he's going to ignore anything I do at this point. So, I mean, like, even this is not a threat because I think this can live. So anyway, he, ignores all of that, which would have won him the game at this point. And, allows me to win instead. He's very generous. He's a generous guy. He's very aggressive, but he's aggressively generous. He's aggressively generous. And actually, a lot of aggressive players are very generous. They're so greedy they become generous. But you have to know how to respond to each and every one of their aggressive moves correctly in order to expose their latent generosity in giving you everything. So I hope you enjoyed the game. I can't say I'll be casting a lot of games in the near future, but I do enjoy this a lot. It's a lot of fun, especially when I win a game, because, you know, hasn't been as often as I feel like it should be, but then again, I haven't been playing a whole lot. I've been playing more poker than Go. So anyway, whether I win or lose, I do enjoy this game quite a lot. I enjoy it a lot more when I win, but I think that's the same with most people. I think it's a rare person who can say, I enjoy the game exactly as much if I lose or if I win. And I don't know if there's many high-level players that can say that. They might be able to say, I enjoy it close to the same amount, but when they win a really brilliant, amazing, awesome game, or they win by half a point, and it's like this super close game all the way through, and they finally close it out by half a point, I think that's more satisfying than, oh, we played this really close, exciting game, and I only lost by half a point. I don't know. Maybe there's some people out there who are that personality. That's not me. I enjoy much more when I win, but I enjoy it when I lose because it's an awesome game. It's really simple yet amazingly complicated, and it's just it's really cool to look at the infinite variations that can come about from the simplicity of here's 200 hatch points, see how many you can surround by placing one piece of a fence at a time, and oh, by the way, your fence can die. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. Can't guarantee it, won't promise it, but it would be fun if it happened. The end.